welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Round of 16 Group D Premier League. It is the last game of the Round of 16, and hopefully it's going to be a cracker. But I think there's a man with me that thinks it might just be a bit of a stomp. So we'll have to hope and pray. Europe's not holding right now, Apollo. It's not holding at all.
It's a very difficult group to hold onto anything here. You've got StarDust and San, two players already top 16 in the world and looking for, even furthering their results. Yeah,
and they... what more can you say about San? It was a superlative performance.
Yeah, he's so good, especially in PvP and PvZ. He's a massive favorite to do well. He lost versus MC in last season, and I think if they were to meet again, you might see some different results.
Yeah, okay. Let's check in with the brackets right now and show you how tonight has progressed. StarDust and San obviously made it through to the upper bracket final early on. San in the gold box now moves on to the round of 8, becomes our 7th player to reach the quarterfinals this season. In the lower bracket then, we have StarDust versus LiveZerg. Two players are already in the half circle, ready for the map veto. Sean, last chance saloon for LiveZerg's. Got to go big or go home right now, but StarDust is the absolute favourite for this one.
22 wins, 3 losses. That just says it all for StarDust. For LiveZerg to topple that, it's going to be a lot of hard work. But I look at the first series of the day when they met and it was an easy 2-0 for StarDust. There was a lot of mistakes and maybe nerves that crept in for LiveZerg, which kept him away from a performance that he would have been proud of. Not scouting, not seeing DTs, to give away a game that fast is not round of 16 quality, and I know he can do better.
And he said he was nervous when we interviewed him, but he didn't seem that nervous. I mean, he's got the exterior of an Iceman. He just seems to be fine, but inwardly he seems to be struggling a little bit with the nerves. It's like that for first-time players at the round of 16. It's a big deal for most of them when they come here. I remember Welmu in Season 2 last year came along for the first time ever. Did fantastically well. So it can be done. You can have a great offline tournament in these WCS tournaments, but it's of the fact that this system actually does work. It allows players to go out there, reach Grandmaster level, play in the qualifiers, come through them, get to Challenger, and then reach the round of 16 in Premier League. And LiveZerg's another one of those.
Yes, he is, but it takes a lot of work to push it a further level, which is to be able to break past the round of 16 or the round of 32 and be able to compete with these guys who have had years and years and years of experience. StarDust has been on top of us, on stage, on top of the world. He won DreamHack Summer last year and went through player after player after player. He's been able to keep high-level results recently. So LiveZerg just simply isn't that caliber of a player yet. But this is where it can happen for him.
Yeah, I mean, other than champagne opening skills, there's not much you can really throw at StarDust as a chink in the armour, is there, right now? So what does LiveZerg have to do other than conquer his nerves in this match? Is there anything that he can kind of look at the previous games of StarDust and go, ooh, there's a little in there. If I can just get him on the ropes here, I might have him?
The thing is, when playing Zerg versus Protoss, you don't really look at it quite like that. What you need to be looking at is, technically, if I see everything happening, I can react and deal with anything that comes my way. So the number one thing LiveZerg needs to be doing in this game is knowing what the hell StarDust is doing, knowing the response, and then executing it. It sounds easy.
If only it was.
A lot of Zerg players in their head before they play say it's easy, but once you actually get into the game, it's a lot more difficult than just that.
If it was that easy, you and I would be top of the Grandmaster League in Europe, that's for sure. Easy. Right then, it's time for our last game in Group D. Don't forget we have the draw for the round of 8 straight after this, so don't go too far away when the game is finished. Apollo and I will be back with the draw alongside our chief admin here at the WCS Europe. Right then, final game. Has StarDust got him in for another 2-0, or can LiveZerg step up for the Europeans? Let's find out.
Thanks very much, guys. All right, our final series of the night, final series of the round of 16. We have one more spot in the round of 8. Who's it going to be, Ben? Quick, tell me.
My money's on StarDust.
Whoa, okay, that was quick. That was pretty quick.
I mean, StarDust just played so well. The last time that these two played was in this group. They played the first match, and StarDust dismantled him. He really did. LiveZerg, especially in the Alta Zim game, the one that went on for a bit longer because the game prior he just got owned by DTs, StarDust just had total control over the game. The huge Phoenix flock. LiveZerg had no idea what to do against him.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to go up against is StarDust in this matchup. And, as much as both StarDust and San were in that PvP before, I think both of them would have been comfortable in this position against LiveZerg, and LiveZerg is now going to have to step up to the plate. This is his opportunity. This is his shot to move on to the round of 8. He's been arguably one of the biggest underdogs in the whole tournament, and he finds himself one series away from the round of 8. That's an incredible achievement so far.
If we look at the list of players that he's beaten, wow, we just closed in on StarDust's hand there. He's a little shaky. You can definitely see tremors of nerves there in him. So despite the confident, like, yeah, I'm going to win, it's nerves are showing. But LiveZerg, round of 32, MMA and 4GG went down to him. Right here, he did lose to StarDust earlier, but then he beat Nurchio. So really good names are under his belt. He is taking big names here.
Yeah, he has. All right, let's get into it. The final series of the night, the final series of the round of 16. StarDust or LiveZerg will be joining our 7 players in the round of 8 to complete that list. Down to the bottom right, we have our red Protoss. Representing my insanity, it's StarDust. I may or may not have been Apollo. And up down to the top left-hand corner as our blue Zerg, representing Vega Squadron, it's LiveZerg.
It was indeed Apollo.
Yeah, our suspicions proved correct.
So here, King Sejong Station to start off the series. This was the map in which StarDust took earlier against LiveZerg, where he just went DTs and won the game in an instant, in the flash. Like, LiveZerg just wasn't prepared, and Targa went to him afterwards and said, "You didn't expect DTs, huh?" And LiveZerg was just like, "No."
Well,
like ever so simply. And obviously he didn't expect DTs because no spores, no lair in sight, no overseers and what have you. But yeah, hopefully with that out of the way now, LiveZerg can go on to the series. He's kind of had a taste of Protoss, and I feel in this matchup, it's more about the Protoss has to keep the Zerg guessing as to what he's going to do, because if you are red, if the Zerg can read you, you're in trouble as a Protoss player.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Zerg's the reactionary race, pretty much, just having to deal exactly with what their opponent's going to throw at them, and StarDust has a lot of tools on his belt to throw at you. So, LiveZerg, for now, going to be opening with Hatchery first, liking it a lot, especially against this gateway opener. If he gets in here with that drone, sees what's going on, could even go for another Hatchery if he wants. We'll see how much risk he really wants to take.
Right, and LiveZerg opening up differently. Drone Scout giving his opponent a lot of respect. StarDust did open up Forge a few times against LiveZerg, so cannon rush potential is there. And against a player with StarDust's name, such as Cheese Dust, you always have to be careful about a player with that kind of resume. So here, LiveZerg showing a lot of respect with the Drone Scout and Hatch first, and then a pool.
Yeah, a lot of respect there. It's like, well, you know, there is the potential that I could take that third, but realistically, I am just going to sit here with that pool and play it out a little bit easier from my own defensive and mindset purposes, as that spawning pool is on the way. And, you know, with this drone, he's just going to try and block a little bit at that natural if he wants to, which is a nice start for him, but obviously there aren't the minerals there yet for StarDust to really take that expansion, so it's going to be a bit of a dance. It
certainly is, and the drone does actually win out.
Well, he can go back in.
Gets back there in time. LiveZerg, there is a Zealot on the map too, so upon seeing that Zealot with this drone, which he will do, has to be a little cautious about the possibility of that Zealot marching across the map and just kind of trying to deal a little bit of damage, but nice blocking by LiveZerg here. Try to do it for as long as possible. Very
good control considering there was that Zealot threat present. One more swipe would have killed that poor little guy off. And gets out there with his life. So for now, it's just gonna be playing out. And
chrono boosting the warp gate here rather than probes or anything. So this does spell aggression from StarDust.
He might be taking a page out of Sans book, the Zealot King, getting some more gateways, because that gateway in the back there, if he puts 2 more down at the front, makes for a total of 4, Ben.
Does make for a total of 4, Claris. And yeah, we'll see what this probe gets up to. 3rd gateway. And we do have an Overlord at the north of StarDust base, which is flying in. And if he does see a gateway in the back of the base, rather than being at the front, and yeah, 3 gateways on the way. So definitely taking a page out of Sans book here.
Yeah, loving it. And he will see the 4th gateway and the chrono boost. So this is, I mean, he technically hasn't seen the ones at the front, but you can infer that that is going to be the case. So where are the units? What is he going to use to defend this? He actually started another drone just then. He started so many drones! I Thank you. Funker shows the frustration.
I actually think this is okay for now.
Yeah?
Yeah, you need to get your economy flowing before you start defending this.
true.
Otherwise, you end up in that horrible situation in which you just don't have the economy, even if you do survive. But one of the things here is he going to be able to keep that third alive against such an aggressive build? Probably not. So the real key here is just keeping your natural alive and not overcommitting.
Ooh, he's opting for Stalkers to actually warp in initially. This is an interesting move. Normally it's Zealots, but because the Zerglings are popping out and there wasn't any gas going into Zergling speed, this could work out pretty well here for StarDust, because he'll always have good follow-up units for when the Roaches pop, when the Roach Warren appears. So this is a nice start so far for StarDust.
It is, and I mean, that third, it is gonna go down. There's no way that LiveZerg can contest that. There is no speedlings on the way, no speed upgrade here. Gas is pretty low for him too. He's not really getting much extra there either. So, I like that he cancelled the units there, because they were just going to meet 4 Stalkers, 4 Zealots, and a Mothership Core. They would have died instantly, so good cancel there.
There's so much power behind this move, and StarDust is executing it really, really well. Unit counts, we only have 20 Zerglings against us. There's a few Roaches on the way, with Spine Crawlers holding this at bay at the ramp, but if he just swaps a lot more Zealots and tanks...
He's droning. I really like the fact he's droning here, because with 4 Queens down at this expo, a Spine Crawler and a second Spine Crawler on the way, he knows that this can't really do much more. And look, StarDust is teching out of this, getting the Forge and the Robo facility.
Gonna move away from this for just a second. Realize that there's something hatching there and doesn't want that drone to survive. And Robo facility with Forge behind this. So StarDust knows that he's already done quite a bit. He's forced out a lot of units. He killed off that third base. He's gonna go back to the standard follow-up, which is obviously the Robo, but gets himself a little bit supply bomb there, unfortunately.
I mean, LiveZerg's held on. That was what he really wanted. We talked about, there's no way you can keep that third alive, and he knew it too. So rather than sacrificing everything and losing the game or putting yourself at such a huge disadvantage, he just kept his cool, sat back, got a Spine Crawler, and just even droned during that. So it was quite calm and methodical play by him. But here, StarDust isn't letting up.
Yeah, he's trying to creep towards that third base with everything, but in the end, StarDust knows exactly what's going on, keeps denying it over and over. Interestingly enough, the Observer was the first unit to come out. I guess he really wants to kind of lock down this location. If he can stop creep as well, that'd be nice.
StarDust is doing this so well. He knows that to stay, or not to stay ahead in this game, he just denied that third for as long as possible and took no losses, recalls back, and he's in a good situation. LiveZerg is getting plus melee upgrades here and lots of lings.
Circling wraparound to do all right, but the melee comes in at a weird time with the Carapace, so if the StarDust actually hits aggressively with the +1 weapons, the Zerglings, yes, they do a lot of damage, but they're still being two-shot by Zealot numbers if it becomes that kind of fight.
Oh, StarDust throwing down lots of gateways here. So there's going to be 7 gateways on the field and a Robo. And this only means one thing. He's going to do an all-in after this. And he's done a lot of damage to LiveZerg. LiveZerg's trying to get his economy flowing again. But is StarDust going to give him the time that he needs? And I doubt it.
And so do I. That's a lot of Zerglings actually going up there.
Oh, they're still marching past the army. That was a huge mistake for LiveZerg.
Resources lost is kind of bad for LiveZerg at this point. Losing all of those links is also a big blow to him, because he needs every unit he can get to actually be able to clean this up when it greets him at his door. He's actually going for a Baneling Nest. This is kind of a desperation move in the end, because he needs something. He needs something to be able to deal with this, and he's hoping that he can get through the force fields to the squishy innards of this force.
And that's hoping for a lot, because StarDust isn't a guy that misses force fields very often. And also, he's a player that makes more sentries than most Protosses. So this is really hoping for some miracle to happen here, LiveZerg is. But constant Zerglings on the map, and he's got a pretty decent economy behind this too.
He's going to have to get a really good wraparound with these Zerglings if he has any hopes of actually cleaning this up. And that's actually a pretty good flank. Comes in, and all of those Zerglings actually get through the force fields, but that doesn't stop the force fields from landing regardless. Zealots on the outer edges of this composition are doing pretty well. One of the Immortals got focused down, which is a nice start for LiveZerg, but still that wraparound was not enough.
Was not enough indeed. That armor was not done for LiveZerg, so the Zealots just two-shotting those lings, and there are a lot of Zealots on the field, so resources lost. It's not good for LiveZerg. He's lost more than twice as much as his opponent here in the supply. Lots of sentries being warped in. This is what StarDust likes.
Yeah, that was about as good as that engagement could have gone for LiveZerg, and even still, this army still remains. That is a big, big deal. The Zealots don't even care if those Zerglings are going to go for them. The carapace finished, but that's it. GG. StarDust takes game number 1. Very, very Sand style there. Very, very Sand style.
He literally copied Sand's build and just did it to perfection. And LiveZerg, well, he didn't take too much damage. He took enough damage that the solid 1-2 combo of the first push dealing damage and then the second push just being monumental. It was a tough situation for LiveZerg there.
And this is kind of the scary thing as a Zerg going up against a Protoss like StarDust. Let's think back to their initial series. Did we really see this? Like, not into this variation. There's a lot of things that a good Protoss with so many things available to them can do to you. And LiveZerg bore the brunt of this build in game 1. It was brutally lethal. And now game number 2, Overgrowth. There's no reason he couldn't use that again, but he still has so many options available to him.
This build so far, it just seems like these Zergs don't know what to do against it. They don't have the perfect answer
really
against
hard.
it. Yeah, they're seeing exactly what's happening, but they don't know what to do against it. And these StarDust and Sand just, they're not making mistakes, whereas these Zergs, it's a build that forces your opponent to make mistakes, and that's exactly what's being made.
I mean, he saw that 4th gateway in the back at the perfect time, to be fair.
Perfect time.
To be able to try and react, and it was not successful. The defense was not there. Game number 2 now. StarDust is 1 away from advancing on to the round of 8. And we're going to get onto Overgrowth to find out if that will be successful. Spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. Representing my insanity, it's StarDust. There was a weird inflection in my voice there. I don't know what happened.
Crazy things happen here, Claris. Crazy things.
And up to the top right-hand corner. No, I'm not going to do it again. We have our blue Zerg representing Vega Squadron. It's LiveZerg.
He held on pretty well there. Like, that was the best we've seen anybody do against that build thus far in WCS. But if there was anything that I could maybe nitpick at, the fact that StarDust never intended on committing to that natural main, just wanted to kill that 3rd. I guess droning up even harder as that attack hits you with spine crawlers being made would have been better for LiveZerg, but you don't know how hard it's really going to hit you, because at 4 gates, and you know it's hitting you, it could be any kind of level of pressure, so you just have to be a mind reader in this situation, I feel.
Yeah. I like that StarDust, once again, though, is opening up with the Gateway Expand, because what we saw previously was like an attempt at a 13... I was about to say, StarDust, you're so clever to throw down a pylon and gateway in your base, but he does this. I was about to say, LiveZerg is always drone scouting, so why try and do this? But StarDust is for some reason.
But upon not seeing a pylon at the front, LiveZerg's going to say, hey, I'm going to put down my hatch.
But he could just pull... the drone doesn't get there in time.
Yeah, exactly. It's at the back. So what's he going to do here? Is he going to cancel that hatch, or is he just going to say, hey, I'm going to pull drones?
Quick pull really fast, hopefully, and... 2 drones? Okay, so it's just going to be a drone defense for a long time. He started 2 drones after the hatch. That's a pretty greedy opener here from LiveZerg.
It's very greedy, but these drones do come down, and they are going to start patrolling spots. And so these...
He's got to bring more. He can't take this lightly. Only 2 drones. He has to bring more. The spawning pool now starts. He has quite a few coming down now from that ramp as these pylons do continue on. StarDust is just looking for a quick win here.
He certainly is looking for a quick win. And is this probe? Oh, the probe falls. Great start for LiveZerg, actually. Like, despite us thinking, hey, this was kind of bad for him, he's made a bad situation pretty okay.
But this comes down, like, this is exactly why at the beginning of it I was like, StarDust, you're clever, you're going for a gateway in base, that's awesome. And then he doesn't, and then he goes for this. And now LiveZerg with that drone scout eventually spots it before things are really, really happening and is able to prepare accordingly in his mind at least. So even with the hatchery first, he does well. Don't try and cannon rush LiveZerg, man.
Yeah, like the drone scout. The drone scout, he saw everything, and it was a little unfortunate for him upon seeing the natural, not seeing anything there. You automatically assume, hey, this guy's making a gateway in his base. I'm going to hatch first, but StarDust tried to played around that idea, and wow, third going down 2, so
He has the room.
he does have the room. He has Lings available just to scout round, so no cannon rush available. StarDust has to worry about his front being owned here with Lings running by, so all his minerals going into cannons defensively rather than offensively, and LiveZerg's already in a decent... This is the best we've seen a Zerg come out in this group.
It's exactly what I was going to say, Ben. This is the best start that LiveZerg could have possibly got to map number 2. So this is a great opportunity for him to try and now equalize the odds. Of course, it's by no means done yet. StarDust is still very fierce indeed, but LiveZerg certainly has that chance.
Certainly does. His build's fairly standard. He's droning up like a madman, which is exactly what he should be doing. At this point in time, Protoss is ahead in probes, but very shortly we'll see the Zerg propel ahead. StarDust sees the third, and it is a relatively early third too, so it's all down to what StarDust chooses to do from here. And Warp Gate and a Stargate incoming for him.
Ooh, in wall. This is cool, because generally, Stargate in wall is something that was, I want to say, if you go back to the people like Classic in Pro League or over in the Korean scenes, really started doing this a lot. And it was more focused towards a macro build, actually. But we've already seen StarDust try and do some things like that Void Ray attack, for example, that came into play before.
The probe and his escort, which is a Zealot. That's kind of cool. And, you know, doing this, he prevented LiveZerg from really strolling across the map and just seeing the wall. LiveZerg has no idea what the wall is. And with this, LiveZerg could assume, hey, he really wants that probe across the map. He really wants to plant a pylon in my face. Is he going to be playing aggressive?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the Oracle opener here with +1 behind it.
And
he saw he saw the research, but he may still think it's gateway. I mean, he's getting a Roach Warren. He's playing to the effect of, where is your gateway attack coming? Because he still hasn't scouted the front of this wall.
And no control over the Xel'Naga towers either with Zerglings. So this Oracle is just going to fly across the map without being seen until it's too late, really. And, this is... We're taking this tower now, but, that Oracle flying right across the other Xel'Naga. Is he going to see it? He just sees it. He just sees it. Is he going to react in time, though? And did he actually see it?
Leia... And
I don't believe he saw it on his minimap there.
Well, at least off the back of this, it is a third attempt at StarDust, which is more akin to the macro play. This Oracle can beat one Queen, so the drones do have to run away.
He's reacting well here. There was no chance that Queen was going to win in that single fight. And he microed that really well. The Oracle doesn't really slow down if you micro it correctly, and StarDust did micro that correctly, but not too many losses to say he didn't expect it whatsoever. And resources lost tab, that's not too bad for this situation.
Very speedy Robo Bay off the back of the Robo as well. So just the Colossus attention will be focused down on here with Evolution Chambers now being added on for LiveZerg. I'm expecting once again a very heavy Roach Hydra composition coming out of LiveZerg to try and deal with StarDust. But if he sees an opportunity, maybe it could have been muted, but after you kind of get in the mindset of a Zerg of this. You've seen an Oracle harassing you, like, can you really do something like a Spire play against that? It's very, very difficult after the Stargate's already been down. Yeah,
the potential to switch into a fleet beacon and throwing down extra Stargates is
there.
It's too scary. It's too scary. And Hydra, Roaches on the way. One thing that LiveZerg has done very well is he just droned up upon seeing what he's against. It was a Stargate opening. He saw the third. 67 drones against 56. I mean, that's so obnoxious. Seeing
my noise or the Oracle?
I'll go with just the Oracle, just to be nice.
Oh, thanks.
But no, it is obnoxious. And as soon as you see a good player with Oracles, like the fact that they can move and shoot, and it looks like they're doing the same thing at the same time, and they practically are because they're just microed so well. LiveZerg still droning up, making a few Hydras for defense, and that is a Void Ray to go hunt down Overlords. But LiveZerg didn't really have that much of an Overlord spread.
Yeah, and also there's not a huge amount of creep spread from LiveZerg as well to be super aggressive with the Roach Hydra composition right now against a player that's building a lot of Colossi, a lot of Void Rays if he wants them. But it looks as if right now the 2 Stargates that were additionally added on are just for the eventual kind of hope that his opponent switches into Mutalisk and then he's exactly ready for it if it comes.
LiveZerg made so many Overlords, 120 out of 190 supplies, still making Overlords here. So he's just going to barrel down on units and just start pushing very soon. So he really wanted to get to this stage in the game, but StarDust, he's very careful and he knows what he's up against. He's getting 3 Void Rays at a time.
Ah, okay, now it's coming.
Oh, Void Ray Colossus, that is such a nasty combo to go up against. I'm
gonna put LiveZerg in that Tefl category of mid-game madness. That is now their official category, because once they free up all that supply, it's army from there on out. But can you break a Protoss here that's gonna have the Colossi, it's gonna have the Void Rays, and how many? Well,
StarDust doesn't have many sentries to keep that army at bay, so...
That's why I was thinking. He just warps in a few more now, realizing that that's the case. That's very important if you're going to go for this kind of Void Ray Colossus composition. You don't want it on top of you when you have very few Zealots in this as well.
And, yeah, I mean, LiveZerg's dealing damage with Planetary Nexus go down here, but does he really want to commit? Because if he does, if you get in a tight location against that army, you're going to get smushed.
Yeah, and the supply counts as well. Actually, not too bad here for StarDust in terms of army, 86 to 74, and the overall effectiveness of StarDust's army is much more powerful. So LiveZerg does have to be careful for a while.
That Oracle finally does fall, and StarDust, yeah, it's a very good pickup. No more Revelations, no more drones getting owned, and no more fast scout on your side of the map. So now we can creep spread finally. There's no real threat of that being denied randomly. Getting Infestation Pit, so I guess the next addition in his army, if he really wants to deal with these big stocky units such as Void Rays and Colossus, is to add Vipers and just pull them into you, because if he doesn't, if he lets those damage-dealing units keep dealing damage from afar, Roach Hydra just can't deal with that, but is StarDust going to give him the time?
Yeah, I love the way StarDust is actually playing this out with the weapons upgrades, complementing these Void Rays as well. And it just gives the Zerg very few options. Once you build up this kind of army, once you have the production behind you of those Stargates to go to as well, how is LiveZerg supposed to compete with this kind of army? Even the Templar Archives coming in as well. Like, it's going to be very difficult with just Roach Hydra.
It certainly is, and his army isn't that scary here. And StarDust knows it.
Oh, beautiful force fields to catch a little bit of that army. Reinforcing now, first-person view of LiveZerg, trying to macro up where he can and hitting those lava injects. And this is going to be difficult. He knows his opponent's army is positioned right in this fog of war. He's got to be careful. That's not the right engagement location. He may try and get some of those Colossi on this left-hand side. He's bringing a few of the units around there, but the force fields cut off a lot of that army to begin with. As this fight goes down, StarDust takes a massive supply lead during this fight, and Roach Hydra cannot compete with the effectiveness of StarDust's army.
Oh, it certainly cannot compete. He's trading so efficiently here. The Colossi go uncontested. You can't get to them. Even doing a Zealot run by here, he's just picking he's picking LiveZerg apart.
Not only that, and he's walked a huge round of Zealots in that are marching across the map as well. So even if those Zealots don't get anything done at the front, he's killed off the pseudo 5th, 4th base up to the top left-hand corner. It's only Roaches, 3 Vipers on the way. They're probably not even going to get time to get enough energy before the army on the left-hand side of the map, whilst that harassment is going on, has done all the damage it needs to do. StarDust is looking brilliant here in game number 2.
Yeah, he's looking very brilliant. And we can't count LiveZerg out, because if he can, with those 3 Vipers... Oh, gosh, he already has feedback ready for those Vipers. I was going to say, if he can pull those Colossi in and take them out of the fight, that's a lot of firepower gone, but... Oh, StarDust is one step ahead.
He basically dictates ZVP. He basically dictates exactly what he wants to do. He reads it out of the book. He just pushes forwards. He kills off the healthiest mining base here. Feedback lands on the first fight, but will the second two get anything done? It doesn't look like it. The Colossi at the back are doing a lot. There's a blinding cloud, but it misses the majority of that army. Pulls forwards a Void Ray or two, but the entire army will end up melting. GG, StarDust advances onto the round of 8 in spectacular firework fashion.
He looks so solid. Even with his strategy, his cannon rush kind of failing in that second game, didn't really affect him whatsoever. Did a little bit of damage with that Oracle, kept total watch on what LiveZerg was doing, and powered ahead. He never looked out of his depth whatsoever, and got together such an amazing army.
Really impressive stuff there by StarDust. Commiserations to LiveZerg, who showed us throughout this season that he was a wild card, but he can stand with the best of them in the round of 32. Round of 16 got a little bit tough for him, but you know, when you're going up against the players like San and StarDust, these guys, it's a really hard battle.
It is, and you know, round of 32 is a different matchup that he was playing, and he displayed that he was very good against Terran, but Protoss, different story, I'm afraid, for LiveZerg.
All right, well, that does it from us here at the casting desk. Let's head over to the analysis desk.
Thank you very much, Kalaris, and to Demislam, and of course to our one and only observer, Funker, as well. Apollo and I are both here with StarDust, who's been, well, eating Zergs all day, StarDust. That was pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
Pretty easy job.
Pretty, as MC would say, easy peasy.
I'm not MC. I hate MC.
You do? You hate him?
Yes.
That's harsh.
Harsh? No.
San.
San messing around.
San.
San messing around.
Because MC was best, but I hate best player because I wanted to become a best. So he's my enemy.
So he's your enemy now. But the thing is, you told me earlier that you're like the 7th best CJ Enters player now.
Because they are playing in Korea. He is not my opponent. MC should be my opponent, but CJ player is not my opponent. So.
Okay. Apollo, any questions for StarDust? No cheese dust tonight. No cheese dust. None.
He's saving the cheese dust until the round of 8, where he'll cannon rush everybody.
Actually, my cannon rush was worst, but I don't know why I win. So for round 8, I make 5 different cheese. I will prepare.
5 different
Cheese
versions
dust
of
is
cheese.
in the round of 8. He's coming to the round of 8.
He is, yeah. So who do you want in the round of 8? Because we're going to do the draw in a minute, and you're going to go and take a seat and watch the draw. Who do you want?
Who is possible player versus me?
Yeah, some random players.
I want
Vortex. It's Vortex.
4GG.
No, 4GG second
Oh,
place.
no, because he's second place, yeah.
Yeah, it's Vortex, Wellmu, and yesterday's first place.
first.
Yeah, so Vortex, Wellmu first.
One Jug, one Terran, one Protoss. So for me, Jug is best. So Vortex.
Oh, Vortex.
Vortex for you, okay.
Kill Vortex.
All right, okay.
5 times cannon rush.
5 cannon rushes against Vortex.
Okay, yes, I do.
We're going to hold you to that as well, you know that, right?
Yeah, but I should
Because you're cheese dust.
just learn a lot.
All right, well done tonight. Thank you very much. Go take your seat and enjoy the group drawings. You can take the Zergling if you really want. Keeping company. There you go, StarDust. Winner of our final game in Group D. He was pretty good, wasn't he? I mean, class apart in a way. No detriment to LiveZerg, but just a little bit more classy.
San and StarDust were very equal together today, and you know it could have gone either way. It went San's way, but StarDust right with him all the way.
Okay, we're going to do the draw in just a moment. Hopefully Graham is ready. Graham, come and join us. He's going to place the cup. He's placed 4 players inside the cup. So let me just explain a few of the rules of the draw. The 4 players in the cup right now are the runners-up of each of the groups in the round of 16. They cannot play each other, of course. The winners will also then be drawn afterwards, but we'll draw them in bunches of 2. The reason being that no player that met in the round of 16 can play each other in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. They can't play again until the grand final itself to make the draw absolutely 100% fair. So, are we ready? Okay, Graham, draw the first player into the round of 8. Let's find out who the first name is out of the cup, and it's the defending champion of Europe, MC. So MC goes into the first part of the bracket, at the top half of the bracket. In his side of the bracket will be player 2 is Golden. Okay. So, Golden goes into the second half. So, Apollo, just quickly, before we draw the third one out, MC and Golden in the same side of the draw. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think MC's fine with that. Golden looks shaky in his games. I think MC would be fine with that, no problem.
Okay, all right. Graham, continue. Draw number 3. No Demaga in this draw, sorry. As much as I would love to see Demaga in this draw. Third player out is our Korean Terran, the only one in a round of 8, 4GG. Has avoided MC and Golden in the side of the draw. But he hasn't avoided the last man in this side of the draw, which should be StarDust. Let's just confirm. And it is indeed StarDust. So StarDust goes in the bottom half of the draw in the same side as 4GG, not Demoga.
So StarDust could meet MC in the final, maybe.
Could do.
If StarDust is good.
Yeah, could do. He seems okay with that as well. He's chatting away with Sand down there. He seems all right about that.
Yeah.
And MC and Golden in one half. 4GG, Terran, the only Terran in the round of 8. He knows that he can't play the player he played in his group, but he's still got 3 other players he could play against.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Graham's just going to prepare the 2 that are going to drop into the cup. He'll be with us in just a moment. MC, Golden in one half of the draw, 4GG and StarDust. We've had all of the Koreans out so far that finished in second, of course. Yeah, just checking, there's nothing left in the cup. Nothing left in there at all. I know a lot of you have been saying that you'd like to see these live draws more often, so here it is. So, two balls into the cup, MC and Golden.
So I'm actually spinning for MC's player right now.
You are.
MC, this one's for you.
Blame Apollo if you don't get the player you want. Right, here we go. The first player into the round of 8 playing MC is San. They were cheering for it in the crowd as well, and they've got exactly what they wanted.
It's the rematch from the semi-final.
It is the rematch from the semi-finals of Season 1 WCS EU. Just take out the second one just to confirm who Golden will play. No more left in the cup. So, Golden will play Vortex. Ooh. So, that's going to be a ZVZ in the round of 8. So we have a PvP and a ZVZ, Sean. And then we have a PvZ.
So San versus MC is an awesome matchup. Could really go any way, depending on the levels of preparation.
Indeed.
Vortex and Golden.
You'd fancy Vortex, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean...
He's not been great in round of 8s, it has to be said. He's had his struggles, hasn't he? But
if Vortex beats Golden, I mean, he has to go up against one of those guys.
Yeah.
Depending on how Vortex practices and trains for the round of 8, he could go to the final.
Arguable. But if he gets San, who's got those ridiculous PvZ, it'd be tough for him.
It's hard.
Okay, let's draw out the last 2 balls, Graham. 4GG, the lone surviving Terran in the round of 8. They're like an endangered species, not just in Korea, but also in Europe as well. And 4GG will play the top European Protoss, Welmu. Winner of his group as well. I think Welmu will be okay with that. PVT quite likes his chances. Let's draw out the last one just to be sure.
I think he'll be happy that he's avoided Zergs.
I think he will too. Yeah. Vortex and Golden in the other side of the draw. First is our last man out, and he will play StarDust. So StarDust doesn't get quite the draw he wanted. He wanted a Zerg.
Yeah.
It's a PvP at the bottom of the bracket as well. So effectively, when we look at the lineup right now, MC versus San, we're going to lose 1 Protoss. Bottom of the bracket, StarDust first. We're going to lose at least 2 of the Protoss players.
First and StarDust are my 2 main picks from the Fantasy League.
Yeah, you've stuffed up on that.
They're going to play against each other, which kind of sucks. But overall, it's a really healthy bracket, and I really think that Welmu will be over the moon avoiding Zergs there.
Okay, let's catch up with StarDust then and see what he makes of his draw. He's with James.
I don't think you've ever called me James before, but anyway, there we go. All right, so StarDust going up against first in the round of 8. What do you think of your matchup?
People I say I have confidence versus Vortex, but I hate PvP in lower round. Round 8 is pretty low, so I hate play PvP in lower round. But I will learn much from CJ player, CJ hero, so I can be win.
Why did he want Welmu?
Why did you want Welmu?
He wanted Welmu.
You wanted Welmu, okay.
Because he's cheese.
Oh, okay.
I hate kimchi.
You hate kimchi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And do you think San will be MC?
Pretty sure.
Yeah?
Because I think he have best PvP right now.
In the world?
Not world.
No?
In Europe. Okay.
You're in Europe. Okay. All right. Well, we have now heard from our lovely little StarDust here, and that pretty much wraps things up here. Back over to Red Eye.
Thank you very much. Yes, Kalaris. I'm pretty sure I've called him James before.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I know it's early, I know it's fresh, but what do you make of the draw?
Really good. I think it's a good mix-up of players. I think the top 8's one of the best top 8's we've had as well. Of course, it is missing Powerhouse Terrans, more so than just one, but hopefully 4GG can represent. It's good. I really like it.
Okay, let's take a look at the brackets, the official brackets for the European Season 2 round of 8. MC will take on San in the upper half of the bracket, PvP, and there'll be a ZVZ next to it, Vortex versus Golden. And the winners will be quite happy with that draw, I would imagine. Wellmu will take on 4GG, the last remaining Terran in the round of 8, and we'll finish off with another PvP. First versus StarDust. You heard StarDust. He's not particularly happy with that. Would have preferred, if he had to have a PvP, he would have preferred to play Wellmu because of cheese.
I think any other Protoss player would have been better than First, because I think First is just so very, very good. Maybe San, I guess, is very close in that regard. But I think the MC might be in trouble as the defending champion here against San. I really think San can give him a good game and get the revenge which he wants.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the story of revenge has played quite a role in the WCS European seasons over the previous few. We had MMA, of course, beat MC in the final, and then MC returned the favour last season with a 4-2 win. So it's quite possible, and I know Sam was very disappointed at going out last season as well.
Yeah, he was. He really wanted to go further. But one thing that really stands out for me looking at this is MC and First, they will only practice together. They live together. They will only train together, PvP all day, every day, to make sure that First can beat StarDust and MC can beat San, and they won't even think about 4GG Wellmu, because I think for both MC and First, the first game is harder than the potential second. So I really think that First and MC will work together to beat the first opponent, to then hopefully beat the second to meet in the final.
Interesting. We will find out. Good spot from Apollo there. Make sure you let us know your thoughts on Twitter. Use the hashtag #WCS. Tell us who you think the favourite is still. Unfortunately tonight, Europeans have fallen yet again. It is a domination by Korea once more in WCS Europe. They lead 6-2, but there's still two very good players in the round of 8. Wellmu and Vortex will represent Europe, and the 6 Koreans go head-to-head in many of the games already as well. The round of 8 is going to be very, very, very special. Make sure you tune in and join us when we hit that. It's going to be a few weeks' time from now. From all of us here at WCS Europe, though, in Studio 1 of Cologne, it's good night. We'll see you next time.